I kind of quit. When I started my paper route, we had a cigar company called Honeys, something Honeys. So it used to be a paper route. I delivered it, and it was like our first advertiser. I'd smoke them when I drove the Astro van. I got so high, and I was just done with them.
When was this?
2004.
You had a paper route in 2004?
Barstool started as a newspaper. So I used to like hand it out, and we had those little news racks outside subway stations. For 48 hours, I just jump in my Astro van and fill the news racks, drop them in bars throughout Boston.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it started.
That's how you started?
Yeah, it's a newspaper.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your own newspaper?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd wake up like 4 a.m., go to the subway, hand it out to people, like walking by me, and just scream at them, like, take the newspaper. Yeah.
What was the motivation to do that? Like,
So-
how did you get the idea?
I was always into gambling, and I had a normal sales job. I always knew I wanted to try my own thing. Flew out to Vegas, met with like the casinos. They're all like, you got to be a dealer. You got to start at the bottom. I was like, I don't want to do that. Talked to offshore casinos and said, how do I get involved? And they all said, the internet at the time I did this, if you went to a gambling site, fireworks, pop-ups, look like you're getting your credit card stolen. They actually said, get us off the internet, put us in a physical newsletter, and we'll advertise. So I sold like a year of advertising before we launched, and it was a gambling rag. It was like a 4-page newspaper, but I sold the advertising, and it allowed me just to morph. So like during the course of the year, we slowly moved strictly away from gambling to more like men's interest, like girls and things like that. That's how it started.
Wow. So when you were into gambling, like, why did you decide to do a newspaper?
Because I knew I wanted to do something I enjoyed doing. I was doing cold calling sales. I couldn't do that my whole life. And when I called these casinos to advertise, it's what I just said. The internet was cluttered. It was filled. It was a time when it literally every gambling website had little graphics of fireworks popping up, everything. And the gambling companies wanted to get off the internet because it was too cluttered. So they said, if you do a newsletter or a newspaper, we'll advertise. So that's why I created it.
How funny is that? They wanted to get off the internet.
Off the internet. Yeah, there it is.
Barstool Sports. Oh my God, look at that. 2003, the first issue of Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
Wow. Hooters football
First
headquarters.
advertisers, yeah. Hooters.
Hooters was your first?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Hooters is apparently in trouble. I just read something about Hooters is not doing
That's
well.
the fake story?
Is it a fake story?
I don't know. The one that people aren't interested in tits anymore?
Well, that's a fake story.
I don't know if that's the
not
one.
true. I think that's a ridiculous conclusion. Like, just because a business that has girls, with owl eyes over their tits.
I don't know how they get away with it. I've always wondered that in this like culture, basically, where you can just hire on looks.
Yeah, that is true, right? But don't they do that in strip clubs too?
Yeah,
I mean, they kind of do.
yeah, but I don't know how. Like,
Yeah, there's no equality in strip clubs.
no,
like all
some are
that,
better
like-
than others, but yeah, it's based on looks.
Yeah, all that body positivity shit. That
Out the
doesn't-
window. So how do you figure like how do they get away with it? How does a restaurant get away with it?
It's a good question, but it's the same thing in like those Chippendale shows.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're selling. If that's what you're selling,
You get away with it.
yeah,
That must be the case.
it is I mean, but it's not with models anymore. Like, now you can be an obese model.
Yes.
But that's also because you're selling clothes to people that are obese. Because
Well-
there's a lot of people that are overweight. You can sell them
Correct.
clothes, and I guess it's good to have an overweight model, because if you're an overweight person, you buy clothes like, oh, that would look good on me, it looks good on her.
Yeah, it's half public pressure and half business, because like Victoria's Secret got basically bullied out of their fashion show and their entire model by only having like the perfect Victoria's Secret angels. They had to go plus size. Now, they did that because of public pressure or because of business decision, or kind of both. Were they stuck to their guns? If they're like, our business is killing it, we don't care what you say. I don't know.
I wonder. I bet it enhanced their business to have plus size.
Correct. So
What a good business move.
are they doing it right? Are they doing it? I'm one of those guys. I don't think there's any. I forget the word that I'm going to say. Altruism. I don't think there's an altruistic act in the world. I think every single thing somebody does is, even if it just makes you feel good, well, that's not altruistic.
Right. Yeah, I've said that before about being kind and generous, that it makes you feel good. It's actually good for you too. But
Correct.
it's still kind and generous. It's like, just because like someone enjoys it doesn't mean it's not altruistic. It's just that there is a benefit to the person that does it too. I think a lot of people have this idea of altruism that you're only benefiting the person you're helping, and that's the only real altruism. But I think you're also, I mean, it benefits you, but it benefits you, and it feels good. It's like, I think people look at when people have ulterior motives. If someone has like charities bother me when I find out that the people behind the charities are making millions of dollars.
That's the worst thing in the world.
That is scary.